Hey there! Welcome to another episode of Behind the Wheel. I'm your host, Mike. And today we're going to talk about gas, electric, and hybrid automobiles. You know, we constantly see in the news all the time things about electric and hybrid vehicles. This CA Corvette, which has been very popular, is coming out with the hybrid this year. Lamborghini, as of 2024, all their vehicles are going to be hybrids. Ferrari's going to have an all-electric car in 2025. Yet, only 2 out of 10 Americans at this time are interested in electric vehicles. There's a number of different reasons for that. But first, let's take a look at the fact that electric and hybrid vehicles are not new. We are actually going into a full cycle where we're going back to where we started. If you look back in the early 1800s, batteries were being developed in Europe and adapted to different things. So the actual year of the first cars is a little, it changes depending on where you're looking. So I have a bunch of links I'm going to have here where you can look and you can see for yourself what's going on in the electric and hybrid market. But to start with, in 1891, that was the first year that we had electric in this country. 1891, they were using electric cars. And the gasoline motor came in probably around 1893. So they were around the same time coming into this country. Now, it would be interesting to see the psychology of the people first seeing these vehicles that are now able to be used without a horse. That's the first thing. Then they're having these electric engines. But the problem with the electric is at the time, you could only go about 20 to 30 miles on a charge. And the top speed was about 25 miles an hour. So by 1912, there were 33,000 registered electric cars in the United States. And just to see how things were going psychologically with this whole thing with cars, by 1920, there were 9 million gasoline-powered cars on the road. So 1893 was like the first gasoline engine in this country. So by 1920, there were 9 million on the road. That's unbelievable. So I'm sure there was hesitation. I'm sure there in the beginning over the whole idea of a car without a horse. And then the choice between battery and gasoline. And oh my gosh, what are we getting into here? So, now, by 1935, all battery cars were off the road. There weren't any more. We were just into the gasoline. Now, I know back in just from talking to friends, I believe like back in at least the 70s, there were utility companies like electric companies and stuff that were using either propane-powered vehicles or battery-powered vehicles. So there was some usage there, but again, the public really wasn't interested in them. And I said, as of today, there's only 2 out of 10 people are really interested in the whole electric market. So, what are some of the reasons why people are not interested in electric? Let's take a look at that. Number one, I think, and the media I think has a lot to do with this, they're kind of pushing the electric. Like the government is pushing the electric on people. And we already know that people don't necessarily like anything being pushed on them. So that's number one. But I think also, since there is a lot of electric cars around now, which really surprises me, because I remember when they first started coming out, the Teslas, they were selling them in not in car dealerships, but I remember in the mall, they had a storefront in the mall, and that's where they were introducing them. And what surprises me is, with a concept like electric that hasn't been around for so long in recent times, that so many people actually went out and bought the Teslas. And I don't really know what the prices in the beginning were, but I know they weren't inexpensive. They were pretty expensive. So that kind of surprised me. But I think a lot of that, and you could put your comments down about this, because my feeling is I think a lot of that was people wanting to be the first, or the bragging rights of saying, hey, I got one of these, and, to be different. Because as humans, we like to be different. We instant gratification, and we like to be different. So, and we don't like change. That's another thing. So I think the reasons that I'm reading about that people are not interested, besides the fact of having it forced on them, is the cost of the vehicles, and also the amount of charging stations. There are 53,000 charging stations in the country currently, with 145,000 gasoline stations. So that right there, and the distance, you can go in the cars on a charge. I know it's been increasing, but that's always been a concern. And then you have things like over the summer in California and in Texas, because of the amount of heat we've had, people were told not to charge their electric vehicles. So, and then the fires, the problems with the fires. And I was seeing this with California back when they were having the drought, and they would have an electrical car fire. It took thousands of gallons of water to put out the fire. So, and then they're trying this automated driving. I don't think we're really ready for all this. And I don't mean just as people. I just don't think we're ready for it technologically. Yes, it's got to be tested, obviously, to be developed. But putting people at risk, I think, especially with the automated driving, is not a good thing. That's just my opinion. Again, you could leave your own opinions in comments below. The other thing, and for me, probably the most important thing, and those things are important, the charging stations, but even if I was going to use my electric vehicle only locally, the important thing to me is style. And quite honestly, up until recently with the new Lucid, and I believe it's the Audi that has really something that makes me stop and look twice at the styling, because it kind of looks more like futuristic. So styling to me, like, I just don't feel the Teslas are attractive, including that original Roadster. That's just not my style of car. So I wouldn't buy one just on style alone. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, like I said, Corvette has got the E-Ray coming out, which is a hybrid car. And as I said, the very first hybrid car actually was developed by Porsche in 1900. They had motors driving the front wheels. So that's your first hybrid car. And with the Corvette coming out, and Lamborghini saying that all their cars from 2024 on are going to be hybrid, and Ferrari and McLaren already have hybrids out already, and Ferrari's going to have a full electric car out by 2025. So people are taking it seriously, but we'll see what happens with the public. And with the development of synthetic fuels, it's possible that we may be able to keep the combustion engines running, hopefully forever. But if not, we're just going to enjoy our gas engines now while we can, and take it from there. So leave your comments below, subscribe if you haven't, like hit the like button. And we're going to have more episodes here again from Mike behind the wheel. Have a great day.